You check your bank account on a random Tuesday afternoon, and there's a charge for $14.99 from something called MindFlow Premium. You stare at it for a solid 10 seconds. MindFlow? What the hell is MindFlow? You Google it. Oh, right, that meditation app you downloaded 8 months ago when you couldn't sleep that one time. The free trial. The one you were absolutely, definitely, 100% going to cancel before they charged you. Except here we are, $14.99. Gone. And that's just this month. My name is Grump, and I spend way too much time thinking about the psychological warfare that subscription companies wage against your bank account. If you're someone who's ever signed up for a free trial with the absolute best intentions of canceling it, hit subscribe and give this video a thumbs up, because we need to talk about how these companies are designed from the ground up to make you forget, to make you rationalize, and to make you keep paying for things you don't use. Here's the thing. This isn't about you being forgetful or irresponsible. The entire subscription economy, which is now worth over $275 billion globally, is built on a sophisticated understanding of human psychology that would make a neuroscientist impressed. And I'm going to show you exactly how deep this goes. Let's start with some numbers that should make you uncomfortable. The average American now has about 8 subscriptions. Not 3, not 5, 8. And here's where it gets interesting. The average person spends around $273 per month on subscriptions. That's over $3,000 a year. But when researchers ask people to estimate how much they spend on subscriptions, most people guess around $91 per month. They're off by almost $200. 66% of consumers underestimate their subscription costs by more than $200 per month, and 13% underestimate by more than $400. Think about that for a second. 2/3 of people have no idea they're spending an extra $200 every single month. That's $2,400 a year that just evaporates because you genuinely don't know it's leaving your account. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Grump, but I keep track of my stuff. I know what I'm subscribed to. Do you, though? Because 42% of consumers are currently paying for at least one subscription they forgot they even have. That's not me being dramatic. That's actual data. Nearly half of people with subscriptions are throwing money at services they literally don't remember exist. And this is where the psychology gets really dark. Companies know this. They're counting on it. In fact, they've engineered their entire business model around the fact that you will forget. Let me explain how they do it. First, there's what I call the credit card trap, and it's so simple it's almost beautiful. When you sign up for a free trial, they ask for your credit card information just to verify your account. Seems reasonable, right? You're not paying anything, it's free. What's the harm? Here's what's actually happening in your brain. There's this concept in behavioral economics called the pain of paying. Research from MIT shows that when you hand over physical cash, it activates the insula, which is a part of your brain associated with physical pain. Your brain literally experiences paying as painful. But when you swipe a card or enter those numbers online, that pain response is dramatically reduced. It doesn't feel like spending because you don't see the money leaving. So when you put in your credit card for a free trial, your brain doesn't register it as a financial transaction. There's no pain, no warning bells. You're just registering. And then weeks or months later, when the charges start hitting, you've already forgotten the connection between that initial sign-up and the recurring payment. The pain of paying only kicks in when you've already been charged, when it's too late, when the money's already gone. And the companies, they know exactly what they're doing. 75% of consumers say they're more likely to subscribe if there's a free trial offered. These trials convert at about 50%, meaning half the people who start a trial end up as paying customers. But here's the kicker. Nearly 30% of annual subscriptions are canceled in the first month, not because people don't like the service, but because people finally notice they're being charged. Now, look, the free trial is just the beginning. Once they've got your card information, they deploy what I call the forgetting machinery. And this is where subscription companies get truly predatory. Trial lengths are scientifically optimized. Most trials last 7 to 14 days. Why? Because it's long enough for you to forget you signed up, but short enough that you haven't built it into your actual routine yet. You try the app once, maybe twice, think, yeah, this is cool, and then life happens. Work gets busy, your kid gets sick, you have that thing you needed to do. And suddenly, it's 3 weeks later and you've been charged $30 for something you used 2 times. But even if you remember the trial exists, even if you set a reminder, they've got another trick up their sleeve. They make canceling as difficult as legally possible. This is called dark pattern design, and it's everywhere. To sign up for a subscription, you click one button. Boom, done, you're in. But to cancel, you have to navigate through 5 different menus, answer a survey about why you're leaving, get offered 3 different exclusive deals to stay, and then, my personal favorite, some companies make you call a phone number during business hours to speak with a retention specialist whose entire job is to guilt you into staying. 80% of consumers say they're more likely to try a new subscription if they can cancel it online easily. Companies know this, and the worst ones deliberately make cancellation so frustrating that you just give up. Each additional step in the cancellation process increases the likelihood that you'll say, screw it, I'll do it later, by about 20%, and later often becomes never. Here's what most people don't realize. There are actual teams of psychologists, behavioral economists, and user experience designers whose full-time job is to make you forget and keep paying. These aren't accidents. These are features. The entire system is designed to exploit specific quirks in how your brain works. Let me give you an example. There's this psychological principle called loss aversion. Basically, humans feel the pain of losing something about twice as strongly as we feel the pleasure of gaining something. Once you have access to something, even if you barely use it, canceling it feels like a loss. You're not just avoiding a charge, you're losing access. You're losing your data, you're losing your progress, you're losing that special member rate they keep emailing you about. This is why free trials are so effective. They get you in the door, they get you to set up an account, customize your preferences, maybe create a playlist or save some recipes or organize your photos. You invest time and effort, and even though you're not using it anymore, canceling means losing all that setup work. That's the sunk cost fallacy in action, and subscription companies absolutely weaponize it. Some companies even send you emails highlighting how long you've been a member. Congratulations, you've been with us for 2 years. This isn't celebration, this is psychological anchoring. They're making you feel like canceling would mean throwing away that 2-year relationship. It's manipulation, plain and simple. And then there's the bundling trap. You sign up for one service and they immediately upsell you to a bundle. Get 15 services for one low price. Sounds great, right? Except you only use 2 of those 15 services. The other 13 have literally 0 value to you, but the bundle price seems like such a good deal compared to paying for 2 separately that you keep all 15. You're paying for stuff you never use because the framing makes it feel like you're saving money. The streaming industry has perfected this. The average American household now has about 4 streaming subscriptions and spends around $69 per month. And here's the brutal part. 54% of people who plan to cancel a streaming service cite content issues as the reason, but 43% say they just feel like they're spending too much money. They're not canceling because the service is bad, they're canceling because they finally notice they're paying for 4 different platforms and only actually watching one of them. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Grump, this is depressing. What do I actually do about this? Here's the thing. The first step is just acknowledging that this is happening. You're not stupid for forgetting about subscriptions. You're not bad with money because you underestimate your spending. You're up against literal teams of experts whose only job is to make you forget and keep paying. Recognizing that is half the battle. But let's get tactical. Here's what you need to do right now. First, audit everything, and I mean everything. Go through your bank statements and credit card statements for the last 6 months. Look for any recurring charge. Doesn't matter if it's $2 or $20. Write it down, every single one. Most people who do this find at least one subscription they completely forgot about. Some find 5 or 6. I've seen people find over $200 per month in forgotten subscriptions during a single hour-long audit. Now, when you find a subscription you don't use, cancel it immediately. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Because here's the psychological trap. You tell yourself you'll cancel it later, and later never comes. The exact same cognitive bias that made you forget to cancel the trial will make you forget to cancel the paid subscription. Break the cycle. Do it now. Third, for any subscription you decide to keep, put a recurring calendar reminder for the day before it renews. Not the day of, the day before. This gives you time to actually evaluate whether you're still using it and make a decision before you get charged. I put these reminders on my phone with an alarm. You need something that actively interrupts your day, not just a notification you can swipe away. Fourth, and this is controversial, but I stand by it, stop using autopay for subscriptions unless it's something you use literally every single day. The whole point of autopay is convenience, but that convenience is exactly what lets these charges slip through unnoticed. If you have to manually approve the payment each month, you're forced to ask yourself, am I actually using this every single month? Now, for free trials specifically, here's a hack that works surprisingly well. If you're on an iPhone, you can cancel a trial immediately after signing up and still get the full trial period. Just go to Settings, tap your name, hit Subscriptions, select the trial, and cancel it right then. You still get the 7 days or 14 days or whatever, but there's zero chance you'll forget to cancel because you already did it. It's already done. The trial expires and nothing happens. For Android users, open the Play Store, tap Payments and Subscriptions, find your active subscriptions, and you can cancel the same way. Cancel the trial the second you sign up for it. You lose nothing and you protect yourself from that $30 charge 3 weeks from now when you've completely forgotten this app exists. And here's one more thing. Use virtual credit cards. Services like privacy.com let you create a temporary card number that you can set to expire or that you can lock after a single transaction. Sign up for the free trial with a virtual card, set it to deactivate before the trial ends, and even if you forget to cancel, they literally can't charge you. The card doesn't work anymore. You can also set spending limits on virtual cards, so even if you forget to cancel, the max they can charge you is whatever limit you set. Some people think this is overkill, but here's my perspective. If companies are going to use teams of psychologists to manipulate you into forgetting and keep paying, you're allowed to use technology to protect yourself. This isn't paranoia, this is just fighting back with equal sophistication. Now look, I'm not saying all subscriptions are bad. I'm not even saying all free trials are scams. Some subscription services provide genuine value. Some of them are worth every penny. The problem is that the business model is designed to make you lose track of what you're actually paying for and whether you're actually getting value. Subscriptions are designed around inertia. It's easier to keep paying than to cancel. It's easier to ignore a $14 charge than to dig through your account settings and navigate their cancellation maze. And companies know this. They've built entire business models on the assumption that you won't pay attention, that you'll forget, that you'll rationalize keeping it just in case you need it someday. The subscription economy is now bigger than the entire GDP of some countries, and a huge chunk of that revenue comes from people who don't even know they're paying, from people who meant to cancel but forgot, from people who are paying for bundles they don't use, trials they never wanted to convert, and memberships they signed up for years ago and haven't touched since. Here's the uncomfortable truth. If you're not actively managing your subscriptions, you're probably losing hundreds of dollars a year, maybe more. That's not a judgment, that's just math. The system is designed to make you lose track. The psychology is engineered to make you forget, and unless you actively fight back, you'll keep bleeding money to services you don't use for value you're not getting because you simply don't remember they exist. So here's what I want you to do after this video. Open your banking app right now. Look at your transactions from the last month. Find every recurring charge, every single one, and ask yourself the same question for each one. If I didn't have this, would I pay for it today? If the answer is no, cancel it right now, not later, now. Because here's the thing, companies are betting that you won't. They're counting on your inertia, your forgetfulness, your good intentions to cancel later. They're betting that you'll underestimate your spending, that you'll forget about trials, that you'll keep paying for stuff you don't use because canceling feels like too much work. Don't let them win. The average person spends over $3,000 per year on subscriptions. If you can cut just half of the ones you don't use, you're saving $1,500. That's a vacation. That's an emergency fund. That's real money that you could be using for literally anything else instead of paying for a meditation app you opened once 8 months ago. Look, I get it. You signed up with good intentions. You thought you'd use it. You thought you'd remember to cancel, but life got busy. Things happen. That's not your fault. What is your responsibility is what you do about it now that you know how the system works. The subscription economy isn't going anywhere. If anything, it's getting bigger. More companies are shifting to subscription models every single year, which means this problem is only going to get worse unless you actively take control of it. So go audit your subscriptions, cancel the ones you don't use, set reminders for the ones you keep, use virtual cards for free trials, and make companies earn your money every single month instead of just taking it on autopilot. Your bank account will thank you, your future self will thank you, and you'll stop being part of the statistic that these companies depend on, the people who forget, who underestimate, who keep paying for stuff they don't use because the system is designed to make them do. Take control of your subscriptions before they control your budget. That's it. That's the video. Now, go cancel something.